All right, let's call this meeting to order. Let's have roll call.
Agnes Fornarski,
Present?
Dana Syvertson,
Here.
John Kamish,
Here.
Peter Hahn,
Here.
Joe Moskell present, Ed Madden is absent. We have a quorum.
Okay. And next is approval of minutes of the meeting of March 15th, 2018.
I motion that the minutes be accepted as so drafted.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Minutes approved. Moving on to old business. Update on workday schedules. We've had a couple of really nice workdays recently, a lot of volunteers coming out. We've been focusing a lot around the slough, invasive buckthorn removal, clearing. We've done a little bit of trail, just lining it with the old logs that are there already. We had a very nice, well, actually, I guess it would be next. So in the next couple of work days, we have our special event on the 22nd, and then we'll be focusing, of course, on invasives, and we'll work at Morava and at the slough mostly for the next couple of work days after this 22nd workday. Anything to add about our work days?
No, just the last workday was really a war on invasives. I mean, we cleared out so much stuff, it's incredible. So we need about 4 or 5 more of those days everywhere.
Quick question on laying down those logs that line the trail. Are they going to float away in the next flood? Or?
It's a possibility, but this is all things that we just found lying around there
No,
anyway.
I know. I just,
You know, like we didn't, so
right.
we'll see.
Just don't want to put too much work where it's maybe going to
No.
float away or something.
We just sort of just move them over, let's say. So, I mean, if they do
No, it
move,
looks
shift.
good. You know, I just,
Yeah,
I don't
it
want
delineates it. I know,
Yeah.
I know. And we can move them around too, depending on the vegetation, how it starts coming up. It
Yeah.
might be changed a little bit. I think they're a little too wide in certain sections, and so, you know, they just sort of delineate it.
Yeah,
very
no,
nicely.
for sure. It looks great.
Thanks. Anybody else want to make comments? No. Okay. Next is the seed greenhouse program. So we have a lot of seedlings in the greenhouse. It's up and running. The holding greenhouse is up too. We have now over 12,000 plants, seedlings in the greenhouses. Especially after our last Poplar Creek workday, they transplanted over 4,000 seedlings. So we had 16 people that showed up to transplant. 8 of our own volunteers and 8 Poplar Creek stewards.
Nice.
Yeah, it was very nice. So we have a lot of seedlings to work with. That's all I have for that. Anybody want to say anything, comment?
And no, I mean, I think the new greenhouse is working out really well. It's amazing that holding greenhouse can get up to 106 every single day with nothing in it. Just,
Yeah, like with no heat, like here.
and it's just white plastic as opposed to clear.
Is there a dangerous temperature for
Yeah,
that plant? What is it?
106.
106.
Well, that's when all the flaps come down and the fans start working, you know, so that's why it's great that Dana can check on it like at noon
Yeah.
and open everything up because it can get really hot in there. The other thing is that I guess with this is that we've had a lot of species that have not germinated before and a lot of special species that we just don't have. And so even one of the stewards from Poplar Creek said that, I don't know, I think he may have been kidding, but he said that we germinated some things that they gave to the Botanic Garden and they weren't able to germinate. So it's really, really great.
Wow.
Yeah, some really nice species. Mm-hmm.
Prospect Heights Botanical Gardens.
Okay, moving along then. The Library Park District program.
Okay, we have the first bird walk coming up. Lee is not going to be there. I will be sort of filling in for Lee. I don't know if you're going to come.
That's the 21st?
Yeah.
Yeah, I will be gone.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, I will be filling in for Lee and lugging the scope. There have been such an incredible amount of birds. Today, there were 6
Blue-winged teal.
blue-winged teals on the slough. There's been mergansers, sculps,
Scops, yeah. Mm-hmm.
what else? Bobbleheads, buffleheads.
Buffleheads.
It's just an endless supply of new and wonderful things every day. So I'm hoping that
Is migrating through, and then we've got the wood ducks are
Back?
back.
Oh, good.
Oh, man,
They're all over the
they're
place.
everywhere.
Yeah.
They're,
I think there's more this year, actually, than.
Than last year?
previous- Yeah.
Wow.
I really do.
they're starting to catch up to the numbers of the mallards.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be great. More wood ducks than mallards.
I have an extra scope if you want to use it for the.
No, I think I could probably only carry one.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I'm good with that. It's kind of interesting because everybody's got some sort of a story and opinion and sightings of new birds, so I'm getting texted all day long by people.
Are you?
Yeah, like today, for instance, Al, he's been, the chief of police has been going on his break over to the slough, and I'm getting duck reports. So, he's all excited about it, and we talked about the sort of food that we could plant in the lake that would attract those guys big time, and
And we just seen an increase in so many things. Oh, the turtles are out already basking on the logs. We saw some snakes when we took a walk after the seeding. So that was really
Garter
nice.
snakes?
Garter snakes, yeah, but still snakes.
No, yeah, we'll take them.
There weren't snakes before. that I
yeah, there
recall,
weren't.
so,
I've seen one in, what, 5 years?
yeah. And we saw 3 just on that little
It's
walk.
kind of interesting. You would think you would have more snakes in the area. You
I
don't
think
really
we'll
see 'em
see
so
it.
often.
I think we'll see it
With
now.
all the logs we turn over, there's like no snakes.
I know. But I think they're good at hiding. You know?
Yeah, usually you see them, but. Okay.
It's just the beginning of the
We'll have
season,
to
too.
talk to the snake lady who's coming.
Yes. So
Habitat.
that leads right into
Exactly.
Allison's talk on the 19th. We need to get people in the seats. So if you guys are here, please register. If you can drag your friends, relatives, anybody, get them signed up and registered. Last time I looked, which was last week, there was like 8.
I signed up, so that makes 9.
Okay.
Yeah, I signed. I'm already.
All right.
First
Sir, what's the date on that one again?
The 19th, Thursday
Which
the
is next
19th.
Thursday.
I can-
So we really need to sort of get out there and make a personal appeal to everybody. We did that with the guys from Poplar Creek, and they seemed to be really excited about them, the topic and the person, so
We'll see.
maybe they'll come.
Yeah. Okay,
That's it.
for that. Okay. Nature preserve interpretive signage.
I just got an update from the executive director of the Park District that the new logo is ready to go into those signs. So she just emailed it to me. So now we can hopefully finish those things up and get them out for everybody to approve.
Which logo is that?
The new Park District logo?
Oh,
So
Was
it
it
could go on
look
the sign.
I don't know.
And then as far as the rest of the interpretive signage, once the plants start coming in, we'll start putting that, when the ground thaws, and
yeah.
we have a lot of other little signs to put up.
We should think about when that next workday is going to be over in Marava. And we could actually set the post, the support post for those signs. So
Yeah.
we need to
Well,
actually
garlic
probably
mustard is
walk
starting
the
to come
site.
up. Garlic mustard is starting to come up, and I saw a huge patch at Marava that we should address. So we'd have enough for a workday in addition to other things. Yeah. So maybe the next one after the 22nd. We'll see.
All right, that's all I got.
Okay. Then next is insecticides, informational handout.
Peter?
Who's gonna?
Yeah, I've been working on it and trying to put together a one-page handout. There's so much going on with those insecticides, especially those neonics. So I tried, there's 2 pages. I think the first page is probably the best to catch people's attention. Second page is a little bit more involved and not so specific. But I don't know what else we could do, let people know about these insecticides for, just a handout. So that's about all I have.
Do you want me to take this information then and?
Sure.
And take a look at it then?
Sure.
Do you have this as a Word document?
No, it's just,
Print it out.
Maybe we can spruce it up, and maybe we can put it like in an e-news or something before people start applying all of this to their gardens and their plants and vegetable gardens.
Yeah,
and-
I like what was on the journal. I mean, that was really good. I mean, the picture of the bee and things like that, to really get people's attention. And then, a brief description of the products. There's so many products out
Just so
there.
people pay attention to what
Yeah.
they're applying and make sure that it's
Yeah,
not affecting.
they
a lot of
really
people
don't
are.
know.
No.
That's part of the problem.
Maybe some links or something, you know, a couple of links, just a few sentences.
Well, yeah, they had about 4 or 5 on the journal at least.
Yeah.
And-
Yeah.
And maybe it was too many, I don't know, but it's a big subject.
It is a
Especially with
huge
the
subject.
decrease in pollinators.
All right, I'll take a look at condensing this
Yeah.
and formatting it. And, you know, if worse comes to worse, it'll just be a 2-page, but on one sheet of paper.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
But I think, you know, how do we get it out to residents is the question.
well, we were going to take it to our workday. We're going to put some in the front office.
There's a little brochure dispenser out that, gives you
On the
the,
countertop, yeah,
right in the lobby here.
right.
Can we get a slot and put stuff in there?
Yeah, we got a bunch of these to go.
Yeah.
Tonight, too.
Okay.
Good idea.
But yes, I mean, there will be an electronic version of that we can send out.
Yeah. When does the next, the next quarterly, not journal, the city newsletter come out?
It's at the printer right now. Actually,
Okay.
it's probably gonna go to the post office.
That was the summer,
The next one won't be until end of June.
end of June. That's still not, that's still summer, so.
Yeah,
It's summer.
We'll get you maybe a,
If you got something that you wanna put in there,
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we can't do like two.
Or in the
whole pages
e-news,
or
and then you can
something.
decide whether, okay. Just to get it out to residents.
great.
thanks, Peter.
Yep.
Okay, anything else about that?
No.
All right, new business. Status, the 2018 budget.
As far as I know, they've had their first read through the budget, and it's going to be approved on the 23rd.
Okay,
That's as much as I know.
right,
That's all we all know.
okay.
Okay.
Then next is summer interns.
As you all know, we extended those 2 positions, anticipating that we'll get the funding of the second one through the city to Gabby, who has just been absolutely going crazy to try to make this thing happen faster, so.
She's already picked up the manual. I believe, I'm pretty sure she's studying it.
Right. We hooked her up
So
with
excited.
Peter, and so she's been here to Peter, she's been to the police department. And the thing doesn't start for another 3 months,
No, not 3 months.
2 months. But she's awesome, man. She's such infectious enthusiasm for this, and really, really, really excited, so it's great.
Yeah.
We locked in Jeremy as well.
Oh, great.
So both of those positions are filled, and we don't have to go through the interview process, and we have one really experienced and one really enthusiastic candidate, so I think it's great.
Perfect.
Yes.
And when
We get a
will these,
lot of work done.
Jeremy will start near the end of May, and then
Correct.
she ends school the first week of June. And I don't know if she's going to take a couple days off, or,
I don't think so.
knowing her, probably not. She'll probably,
I don't think so. She'll find a way to cut class.
yeah. Okay. So then, next is our Earth Week structure, 19th to 22nd.
Okay, so I have not put the finishing touches on the email that goes out for that announcement of the week, but the bird walk has already been sent out. Allison's talk has been sent out. So the only thing is, that has not been sent out is the activities for that workday. And it's because we really don't have all that decision-making done.
Right.
But we really need to do it so that hopefully the goal would be to try to get that specific email out on Monday at the latest.
And then we were going to put in e-news too. right?
So,
Peter, when do you need that, information for e-news? Like the Wednesday before or Tuesday before?
You,
For e-news?
Do I meet with Enid, sir?
Yeah, if we wanted to put something in e-news, we would,
E-news?
yeah,
Whenever you get it to me, the e-news goes out at 7 AM on Fridays. So whenever you get me something, I can put it in,
okay.
but it's probably not gonna be in this one.
No,
But, yeah, so just whenever you can get it to me, I'll put it in. It's 7 AM on Fridays.
okay.
all right, so the things that we had discussed earlier was having people come plant to work on,
Shrubs and trees?
shrubs and trees, and transplanting. And then
On a walk.
Agnes was going to give a couple of lectures,
Well, I thought we'd go on a walk around the sloop.
and a walk.
Walk/lecture.
Yeah, right.
Interpretive walk.
Interpretive. Yeah.
So I think that, that's good. It's not overwhelming and it's manageable. I
Okay,
mean, for both attendees and presenters.
okay.
Don't you? I mean, we plant
Yeah.
some trees and that. and-
Right. So how do we want to divide it up then? So we'd normally start workday at 9.
I'd keep it at the same workday hours, no?
Yeah, 9 to 12.
And then,
Do we want to split up like when people first get there? Do you want to either transplant or go plant some trees and shrubs?
why don't, maybe you start with an interpretive walk instead of working right off the bat. Walk through the area, you can do your stuff, say your thing. And
Okay.
then,
I think that's a good idea.
reconnoiter.
Then
at-
work and then
at
eat.
Wherever our
Okay.
spot is. And then, maybe people a little more enthused, go plant some trees at that point, and whatever, mix in the,
Okay.
whatever.
There's some
else.
people don't get there just, like right on time.
Well, they'll have to.
Well, it's good if they're not, if you're just walking around, they can just join in
That's true too.
instead of just right away.
Maybe what-
working.
And then, earlier, some of the birds are
Okay.
better earlier too.
That's
so-
true.
That's absolutely true.
Okay. So we do a
Maybe
walk.
what, a good idea would be to take the walk, but stage an area where we're gonna do plantings.
Right. Well,
And
yeah.
so we take the trees and stuff there, people can have shovels and stuff and walk with those, right? When we get to the area where we're gonna plant, we plant that group and then walk, continue on,
I think that's too much.
Yeah, I do too.
or
Okay.
just one of them.
Just walk and then walk by the area and say that
Just say
Yeah,
where
and
the
then come back.
activities
one
are
of
going to
those
be
areas we would
planting.
Turn to.
Then they can even just drive back around to wherever that is when we split up into groups.
Okay. So we'll split into groups.
Right. So after the walk, we can split into groups and then.
Yeah, because then you
people
might have
will-
20 people planting one tree, which is not.
We have
Yeah,
like
yeah.
150 trees, so I don't think we're going to run out of trees or shrubs.
So what I'm saying, if the whole group did it, you planted along the way, then. it would
Oh,
be-
yeah, you're right. Yes, absolutely. I think so. Like somebody who might not want to plant and then get all, yeah,
So
So-
should we end up with being at the greenhouse transplanting
at 10.
at 10?
Right? An hour is more than enough to walk around.
Oh, yeah.
And
Around
that's
10.
so
Yeah,
then
walk
that's-
for an hour.
That's where all the food.
Meat bag, transplant, snacks or whatever.
Yeah.
And then whoever wants to transplant can transplant. Whoever wants to go plant some
Plant
trees.
trees
go
with,
plant some
with,
trees.
yeah, Peter. Okay, great.
Right?
Yes, I think that's a great idea.
All right, I'll put a timeline
You're
together.
gonna have to work. Who else is gonna transplant? Who's gonna plant trees then? You are gonna have to work that day?
Pretty sure,
Of
yeah.
course, I won't be there. So
John's gonna be there?
No, he's
John
not.
isn't gonna be
I'm
there.
going to be out of town, I'm sorry.
So Ed and me and
Me.
Seth, maybe we'll
Seth.
come?
Seth, yeah.
Yeah, okay, we'll figure it out.
Seth will be there, he said he would.
Oh, he did?
so,
Okay, well then, that's,
That's covered.
okay.
I can try to change, but we'll see.
Yeah, that's all right, Peter. If you've gotta work, that's totally fine. We'll make it work.
All right, so
So
are
then
we
we'll
gonna
do
do a
that
end
until-
with a kielbasa roast and transplanting?
Yeah, I mean, just end with a kielbasa roast. Not transplanting with the kielbasa.
No, let's have a different lunch,
Different lunch, okay.
Yeah,
because
okay.
it's supposed to be spring.
All right. What do we have for lunch?
Brats.
With sauerkraut?
All right, everybody's tired
Italian
of the kielbasa.
sausage.
Okay, all right, what do we want to,
Well, we can figure that out.
okay, let's think about it.
But what I'll do, I'll
Okay,
put a
yeah.
timeline together of that day and structure those events, and I'll send it to everybody.
We could do like a potluck too, if people want to bring something. That might get confusing and out of hand. Okay,
Because you have to count on people for that.
right. It can't be, super expensive either.
No,
so,
I understand.
I will, we'll worry about that.
Okay, all right.
Go.
So food like 11:15, 11:30? Okay,
11:30.
11:30, okay, great. So when do we have a plan?
Did we know, have we heard anything back from the Water Commission? Were they gonna join in on that?
No, I haven't received anything. They did jot it down.
Okay,
Water Commission?
I did
They-
invite them at the last meeting.
Oh,
okay.
Creek
All right.
Commission, you mean?
Yeah, the
Creek
Creek
Commission.
Commission. Mhm.
You want me to email Kathy to see?
Yeah, just to see if they're going to participate.
Yeah, because we want to involve the community. Maybe we can send some emails to like at least the surrounding residents that we know of, you know, because we have their contact information. And, and then, you know, we've put together something that we could put in e-news, and so just, so it could be a community-wide event and draw
Are
more
we going to
people
give
in.
any takeaways or giveaways when people come?
Like plants? you mean?
Just to say thank you for coming out and participating?
They're so young.
Yeah, a little too young, huh?
I mean, they're young and they're not frost hardy yet, and I feel like we could, a few are nice. Like, we could give out,
Maybe some of those that overwintered
oh, maybe,
Was it
yeah.
2
That's
weeks
a-
from
It's a
now?
lot,
No, it's only a
White
week.
oak do we have?
this week,
like 30,
week from this
30
weekend.
swamp white oaks we have, and then we have just a lot of shrubs, a lot of shrubs. And then some nice cherries. Yeah, we've got a whole bunch of things that we could plant, more than we could ever handle for a workday. So, yeah, I guess we can, I think what we should do this time, because those, I've seen many of those oak trees that were planted, and a lot of them survived and are nice, but then some of them didn't around the slough. And I think what we should do maybe is not only that netting, but a flag. So it's like really visible, like a bright red flag, like here's an oak tree, like don't burn it, don't step on it, don't, you know?
Yeah,
Well, you know, the real way to do it is you get a plastic tube. Peter probably knows this. And,
Yeah.
you know, it stands 3,
Yeah.
4
Yeah.
feet high. And
Well,
your
these
tree-
are only about a foot right now.
Yeah, they're tiny, they're like 2-year-old,
Yeah,
1 year,
they're-
or 2-year-old oak
Problem is
trees.
they get chopped down, or, you know,
Yeah.
we buzz cut them with our.
Yeah, that's,
String trimmers,
yeah, that's why the chicken wire around them, that's the only, I stumbled across them,
yeah,
Right.
but only by the chicken wire that I
Yes.
see there.
right, because you can't tell that it's
No,
there.
so yeah, flag or
I think I just,
Well, I
some
flag
kind of
with the chicken
marker.
wire.
The chicken wire's got to be 2, 3 feet high, I think.
Yeah, eventually, yeah.
With, well, I mean,
To get,
right off the bat,
okay, yeah,
because then you see it,
yeah.
you know,
Okay, let's do that.
and then I think it'll prevent all
I
the
have
other
chicken
crap from
wire.
growing in on it.
I have plenty of chicken
I
wire.
got some too. So.
Okay,
Yeah.
so if we can if we can do that in advance of the workday, have them ready, you know, have them cut and ready to just put around. that
Now,
would
the other thing, to hold that chicken wire in place, you know, I find that the metal spikes, or, you know, like the fencing spikes, are really the best to hold that.
Yeah, but
I know that there's an expense to that.
expense, and then also just, I think, also visually, you know, I can get busy in there.
Well, I think it'd be all right with a green stake.
They're green stakes.
They're like
and then
5 feet tall, or the smaller
Well, you can
ones.
get the,
You can get them like,
30-inch ones.
they're any size, but like,
Okay.
you know, I put it around in front of my house, around
Bald cypress?
yeah,
Okay,
and it's really protected it well. The city goes around, cuts the grass, they don't run it over,
Yeah,
because it's
visible,
there.
It's-
you know,
and
it's
it's very,
visible,
very
and it
visible.
stands,
Uh-huh.
you know, probably 2.5 feet high.
Okay, let's do that then.
yeah.
Because
They-
all
Let's
those,
use
you know,
that
I hate to
instead
plant
of
these
flags,
trees and
yeah.
then
That's a great idea.
they get chopped down.
I know, I feel bad too, like I've walked across the of them, and it's like, I don't know if we, yeah.
Well, it takes a couple of
Is
years
that-
just to get them this big.
is
you
that
know,
something
and-
you want to incorporate to some degree into this
Yes,
this
if we're gonna be
special
planting
workday?
trees, sure,
Okay.
yeah.
No, I meant finding the ones that are still there and still viable.
Yeah,
And
I've
then
been doing that.
re-protecting them.
I've been doing,
Yeah.
yes, if we can do that,
Okay.
sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll remember that, but, okay. All right, great, and then we have a plan for that. Will somebody be able to put together that netting, and what are we gonna purchase the stakes with? I have chicken
Money.
wire. Money. Well,
Maybe
that's,
Peter can get us a deal at Lowe's.
yeah, well, it's, that sort of thing is a line item in our budget from last year. We could,
We still have money in this year's budget that we have to spend.
I know, we need a lot of soil.
We could certainly get stakes,
These stakes aren't super expensive.
like
They're-
$2 a piece
Yeah.
or something.
Okay, let's do that then.
Right.
We'll reach out to Peter.
And don't wait for the last minute.
No,
It's
let's
May
do it,
1st, so,
yeah,
you know,
This
and
week.
we gotta make sure that we give Public Works enough time
to go and get
all
it.
the stuff, so.
Got it.
Start,
need a lot
start
of
making
stuff.
your list now.
Yeah, I've been buying soil, but I'm gonna run out of money if I keep.
We're probably gonna need more chicken wire than you think.
Yep.
Okay, chicken wire, got it.
And I
Do you
think
know-
the quarter inch,
I was gonna ask, yeah, okay.
more firm, steady stuff
Okay.
is,
Should I get some, or?
Will,
If you can get us a price on it,
price and a
can they buy it
picture
at
or-
Lowe's?
Okay.
Or do they have to go to Home Depot?
I'm sure I'll have to ask them, but I'm sure there's a way they can go to Lowe's.
Okay,
I think Public Works is a credit card now that they can use, so.
okay.
okay.
So let's find out what kind of chicken wire, who's gonna provide that information.
I can provide that info.
Okay, and then we'll,
Did you say
Big
quarter
order.
inch thick on the chicken wire,
No, these steaks.
on the steaks?
Well, it's quarter inch spacing on so it's the rectangular
hard
chicken
brick
wire. Yeah,
Okay.
it's not, your standard
I
chicken
know
wire
what
that's
you mean.
really flimsy.
I do have that, I have a whole roll of that.
I got some of it too, and I can throw that in that, but it's not gonna be enough, I don't think.
Okay, yeah, if you could just email what that looks like,
Chicken wire
sturdier.
steaks, okay.
Those steaks are about, what, 2 to 4 feet high or something?
No, they're like 2.5 to 3 feet high max. I mean, they're the really short ones.
Okay.
And I know Menards has them, they're like 2 feet or 2.5 feet.
Bucks each.
I'll measure the ones I got at home. I think they'd be perfect for this, and then we can
All right,
Okay,
base it off of that.
great, sounds good. I like the plan.
okay,
Anything else?
nope.
Okay, moving on. Outcome of the prescribed burn, Slough and Lawrence Prairie. So this was really sort of last minute, Saturday, we burned. It was sort of perfect timing because right after that, within a couple of days, things really started to wake up. And so I'm so happy that we got that burn in. It was a patchy burn, which is good, it's fine. A lot of the places around the slough, previously in the fall, we burned some of it, the rest burned a little bit more. Maybe total was like 40% of the whole wooded area. Could have been a little bit better. The plantings burned very well. The, in front of the sign, that Prairie Drops.
100%?
It burned. That Prairie Dropsy is really low, but it's a
Yeah.
prairie grass, and the
Yeah.
fuel is just so hot.
Nice and
I mean, the
dry.
flames were like 6 feet off, and the sign is fine. It was well protected. Nobody got injured. Everything was perfect. It's just surprising how well that burned. So everything is.
Burned as well as your nose.
I was trying to protect the sign a little bit too much. A little bit. It's okay. And Lauren's Prairie too. It was very nice because Lauren was able to come home from school and be there, and she was so excited about it because they're in their 4th year of the Prairie, and it's just become a
She made a
really,
whole video of it, it was
Yeah.
great.
it's like their family treasure, and it was really nice to be able to help them out and burn her prairie. Everything's gonna come back to life really nicely. So that's that. Oh, and so participants were me, Dana, Ed, and Seth Marcus, who has gotten his Chicago Wilderness Burn Certificate. So, and Peter, you weren't able to make it that day, but next time. Yeah. It just happened to be, you gotta pick the day, and,
Yeah, oh, I understand.
it's
a
a
hit or
tough
miss.
call. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it's funny, because the Thursday, Friday, Sunday, none of those days would have worked.
No.
It was just that day, that one opportunity we had, so I had to take it. Okay, so that's that. And then next is outcome of the MacArthur Junior High School Science Showcase on April 3rd that we attended. And that was very, very nice. We had a lot of young kids come up to our booth. We were right across from River Trail Nature Center. A lot of interest, a lot of questions. They all took brochures from us. We had a really nice display. We had seedlings, we had books and types of bark and twigs with pictures of what the seedlings look like at maturity. We had 2 big, large fold-out signs where it started with what is wrong, what can we do about it. It was only like a week ago.
Change the habitats.
That was the
Change
last
the
one,
habitat,
change the
change the
habitat, change
inhabitants.
the inhabitants. And so it was really nice, and a nice thing to show people and to discuss. There's some parents there that were interested too. So it was a very enjoyable event, right, Jill?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, there was one really funny moment when there was this kid who was visiting a friend of his from England.
Yes.
And he knew all about buckthorn because it's a great plant over there. And so Agnes was telling him about how invasive it is here and all the nasty things that it does here. And this guy didn't know this. And so he was saying, well, you know, we have the same problem with your rhododendrons.
So somebody brought over an invasive over there from here.
Right. So, well, we owed you something.
Well, we also spoke with a biology teacher from Wheeling who has an after-school program for the junior high kids. And I made her aware of the
Yeah.
Nature Speaks program and our upcoming Earth Day events and how we've partnered with MacArthur for the Science Club to come out. So she's going to check into that.
Yeah, that's
for her
really
group.
great, Jill. That
Yeah.
was really good. That was very nice contact. And so she mentioned all sorts of opportunities, too.
Yes, she did.
It's really great.
Okay.
Okay. Next is the outcome of the Northtown Garden Society. Anybody want to say anything? Maybe
John?
John?
I think that, that went really well also. We did that, it was on April 5th? Okay.
Busy week.
So 5 of us went out there and presented our little talk on the slough restoration, and we had a nice crowd out there, and they were very, very interested and appreciative of it. And we generated a lot of interest. They're going to be coming out this summer for to tour our area, and maybe a few of them will get on the bird walks and that. But a very successful meeting. I think we taught them a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good feedback on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because when we did it the first time at the library, somebody, and I don't recall who, I wish I did, walked up to us and said, that was really good. You should put that presentation
Take it
on the road. Take it on the road. We were like, ha, 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 very funny. And now we've
Here we
given
are
it
on the
like
road.
two more times
Yes.
since then. Yeah, it's very nice. It was very pleasant. I have to give Peter
Yeah,
the money.
after May 1st.
No, it doesn't matter when the check is
Yes.
written. Right, it's not written after May 1st.
Doesn't, no, I don't think it matters. It's when we'll talk about it later.
Okay. Then next, we have the McDonald Creek Commission meeting of March 27th.
Correct. Essentially, they just covered business. Their McDonald Creek brochure is completed, produced, and printed, and their goal is to distribute it particularly to Prospect Heights residents who live on the creek. They are talking about scheduling a creek cleanup day, perhaps in April. They're tentatively planning to attend the city council workshop meeting on May 14th on their budget. I did invite them to our special Earth Day workday on April 22nd. They also are planning representation at a meeting in Riverwoods on May 10th regarding the Des Plaines River watershed plan. And that's where they stand.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. All right, next is consideration of our meeting locations for May, June, July, August, and September.
Yes,
We have to talk to Patrick.
outside. We need to
Oh,
talk to Patrick about what's the most convenient outdoor location for him.
Okay.
So I don't think anybody's opposed to meeting outside, right?
I am.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
It's just,
Distracting?
it's
No.
distracting, it's windy, it's buggy, I think it's hard to really focus and have an efficient, good meeting, personally. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, I love the outdoors, but I think the meetings go a little more efficiently and smoother indoors. But you can veto me.
You can make a vote.
All right, we'll take that into
This
consideration.
might be the one time that we make a vote not unanimously.
Right.
So should we still, I mean, Ed's not here to discuss further, or should we just discuss it further?
Well,
or-
we should speak with Patrick.
Well, it's also,
Yeah.
you know, the
have to
support
be-
people here, everybody has to, you know, we go to a different location, the cameras and that. It's more effort, for sure. It is a nice
Yeah.
outdoor arena, but there's other factors. And if it rains,
Right,
and we need the backup plan, or, you know, weather, or whatever, so.
it's true.
Sorry to be the
No,
killer
that's
of
good.
the spirit.
All good points.
It's good points, yeah.
I'd rather be outside, I don't care what it is.
Yeah, I just like being outside too.
no matter what.
Okay, well,
Should we just move it to next month then, and,
let's postpone the discussion, and
vote?
I'll talk to Patrick.
oh, we
and
could
Pete.
vote on it right now and just, or not vote, or,
Well, we don't, I mean, we don't have to do all of those dates, you know, I mean, maybe if we took 3 of those and made them outdoors, or 2 of them and made them outdoors. You know, June is certainly more
yeah.
stable.
Yeah.
So then we'll talk to Patrick and then
August,
talk about it next time.
I mean, Patrick may tell us forget it, so
Right. So let's just see.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
Sure.
all right,
depends how
great.
much John paid him.
Well, we had, what, one last year?
Yeah,
We did.
We had one
And-
last
and-
year.
And it left an indelible mark on you, right?
We went through so much bug spray that day.
There was yeah, I mean, it was uncomfortable. For
It was
me, it was uncomfortable to have a meeting that way, but, all right. It gets dark.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, about
picked the
9
wrong day.
o'clock.
we
Oh, I
just,
guess, yeah.
we picked the wrong day.
It was the wrong day, yeah.
All right, well, let's
Let's-
postpone the conversation, and then, when Patrick wants to talk to me after the meeting anyway, so
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll ask him about
Good.
it. Okay.
Plan for council to increase public access to the wetlands.
Did you bring Larry's proposal?
No, I don't think it was,
Peter has it right there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Just
that-
read it.
okay, so this is what was given to council. I don't know if there was was there any decision made on it? Was there a decision made at the council meeting?
No, actually, it was tabled.
Okay, got it. So the initiative is to develop an action plan that will make the surrounding areas of Hillside Lake and the slough inviting to the larger community of Prospect Heights. The charge for us would be to review what currently exists in the areas that is conducive to the larger community being encouraged to experience the lake and the slough, to gather data on what other communities are doing to encourage their citizens to take advantage of similar resources within their communities, to secure input and suggestions from the various communities within Prospect Heights as to what their vision and reactions would be to various approaches to making the areas more inviting. Among the communities that should be contacted are the following: A, residents in the surrounding areas around the lake and slough; B, elected officials; C, city staff who will have responsibility for maintenance of the area; and D, others deemed appropriate for input to the initiative. We would prepare a report and recommended actions and improvements to the council not later than the final council meeting in June of 2018, and we would include within the report parameters by which the council can judge this initiative to be successful. Comments?
That's a general plan for everybody, or for us to look at, or what?
For us,
That's for us to,
right?
Yeah,
So
Larry
why don't you-
came to us and asked us about this, and this was an idea that he had to get more people to,
is the rest of the city council on board with that, or is this just Larry's
Table.
plan?
this is Larry's first proposal,
Okay.
so, and it got tabled, so there wasn't even discussion.
The reason
Yeah.
it wasn't the only issue that got tabled. There were a number of issues that were tabled because 2 of the aldermen were missing.
Okay.
So they don't really want to discuss anything or pass anything without them present. So it's going to be brought up again April 23rd.
Okay.
Well, as from our perspective, if we want to open access, make it more accessible, I mean, our goal would be to be able to do that without destroying what's there.
Exactly.
So the fact that we have paths down, I think, is good. Maybe the fact that we have them, logs and, outlining them is good. People can walk the paths all they want.
Yeah, when we met with Larry, he didn't even know the steps that we've already taken this in this direction, so he was pleased and surprised.
Yeah, so I mean, right now, I think it's, the way it is, it's pretty inviting. It's open to anybody who wants to walk it.
Yeah.
I guess, the questions the city would have would be like parking and stuff like that. And right now, there's really nowhere to park,
Yeah.
except alongside the road on,
Willow and Isaac Walton. I mean, those parking lots aren't always, packed full. I think when you have a big event.
Isaac
they
Walton's
are.
underutilized for sure.
Yes, right. And that has access to the,
More people
area.
park on Old Willow Road between the lake and the slough than anywhere.
yeah.
And that's fine if the city doesn't mind that.
Right.
I think one of
But
Larry's
the lake, I
others,
think, is less inviting than the city side.
I think so too, but that's also, I think, visually, and because there's the buckthorn and the turf grass and the
It's just, there's not much there. It's a turf grass and
I don't
drop
know-
off.
an eroding shoreline.
I don't know how the residents around the lake will take kindly
Right.
to cars being
They're
parked.
not going to like it, I can tell you.
Well, I mean, and we don't know that there's gonna be masses of people suddenly going around there.
Build it and they will come.
But maybe if you build it, so will the wildlife. Like, I mean, part of our plan can be to increase recreation through the use of naturalizing it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that would
Right?
definitely be part of it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great plan. I mean,
Naturalize it, make it accessible with paths and that, and stabilize the shoreline along the way.
Stabilize the shoreline, yeah. And
But
you
I
bring
thought
more
we were all
wildlife.
waiting on this because of the
yeah, we are.
We are.
WRD.
Right, we are. But
Right.
who knows when that's gonna happen, and if we get a little bit done in the meantime, and if,
We pointed that out to Larry, too.
Okay.
Right.
That, until we know what that plan really entails and when it's really going to start.
I'm sure maybe doing a lot
Outside
of,
of moving, the buckthorn and stuff.
yeah, but little things can be done in the meantime, and who knows if that'll ever happen. We could get started on,
I think we
Just
should get
doing that.
started on it, because you're right, who knows if it ever happened, and even if it does happen,
it's not that much work that we put into it, and,
well, that, and there's probably be stuff left behind that will still be viable. And it should be accessible to everybody.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
as long as, more interpretive signage so they don't ruin.
Yes, I think interpretive signage would be great. And,
Absolutely.
we can look at this as an opportunity for maybe even a future grant.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's a great idea.
But not only interpretive signage to have do not feed the ducks. No, I'm serious.
yeah.
Have what?
do not
Do
feed the
not feed
ducks.
the ducks.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I still go back to my original idea of having something posted and locked so we could be changing out the information
Yeah,
with the season. I
that's,
know
that's
it's
a very good
expensive,
idea. But it can be part of the plan, sure. Information is very important, and,
Yeah, it was,
The-
really sad. There's, as of like the last week, there's been all kinds of ducks that have been visiting, and they're mostly diving ducks. And so they're all over in the lake, because the water's deeper there, and that's what they do. So you don't see them over at the slough, you see them over at the lake.
but you see a
And-
lot of shorebirds on the slough because the
Right.
water's shallow.
So I was driving back to work one day and I saw that there's like 5 or 6 red-breasted mergansers, and I spun around real quick and started to come up on this side of the road, and all the diving ducks start diving, going away. All the mallards start coming up because there's a car, I'm gonna get food.
Yeah, that's
It's like,
sad.
whoa.
It's very sad.
Yeah, it's funny, you can't get close to those birds, they're very skittish.
Yeah.
And, I mean, like, I'm talking 100 yards, and
Yeah.
they're like diving and disappearing.
Yep.
But like you said,
The mallards, they
Mallards,
just come right up to you.
yeah. What do you got to eat?
They'll come right up to your
The geese,
foot.
too,
Yeah,
yeah.
well, that's people if you keep feeding them, and it's not good for them.
That's another reason why they're out in the lake, versus the slough,
Right.
because they're too close to people. And they'd like to be way out,
Right,
not disturbed.
yeah.
But there's a lot of fishermen there too, right, at that park?
Yeah,
I don't know if there's anything we can do to provide a better fishing habitat.
Yeah,
Well, that area that goes towards Cupchick's Corner there is, it's higher up, and the water's a little bit deeper right there.
Yeah,
But
it's
right
it's
now,
actually
it's,
not deeper right there.
isn't?
No, it's super shallow right there.
Oh, really?
So like the deepest part is northwest,
yeah.
and it's getting shallower and shallower. I mean,
But those people that fish right there on Willow Road, they don't seem to have a problem.
yeah, they're fishing for carp, so they don't care.
Yeah, right. So maybe that area just adjacent to it would open it up a little bit more to provide more fishing access. Taking out that buckthorn, I mean, right there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Naturalizing it,
yeah.
taking
Who
out
took
buckthorn.
down the buckthorn that's on the lake? I don't know if you know this. Like on the west side of the lake, someone went in there, a contracted company went in there and cut down all the buckthorn. Like within the last couple of weeks.
Nobody from the city would have done that.
Okay. I was,
Interesting.
This is probably another case about someone hiring a.
Well, at least they
private-
hired him for the right thing.
right on Hillcrest Lake,
That's completely
So,
city-owned, so
Hillcrest Drive, like on the
I don't
west
think Public Works would
side
have
of
did anything. I and we definitely wouldn't have hired an outside contractor.
It was Asplund, they were out there cutting it down and chipping it and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh, wow, who put this one together? It looks good. They didn't,
It didn't cost us a cent.
and it didn't cost us a cent.
We should go fresh cut.
But unfortunately, they did not
Herbicide.
herbicide it.
Yeah.
And
Well,
so
we
it's
should
all,
go over and fresh cut it and herbicide it.
right,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll go take
Okay.
a look at it.
It's a really good start, though, because,
Yeah.
it was really choked, and
Right.
they opened
That's
it
great. Well,
up.
there's all sorts of ideas that we can come up with and discuss over the next, especially at the next meeting. One thing that
We're supposed to have a plan to Larry by June,
okay.
for the June meeting.
Well, then let's come up with we're already talking, coming up with ideas. We don't know if it's going to be approved by the city. We'll wait for that until we really start to prepare anything, because that's
Right.
April 23rd. We don't want to prepare. And if they don't make that decision until May, then we need extra time to prepare the plan.
This is the original plan.
I know,
It's already done.
It is.
You've got your
well,
picture.
there's a couple of other things. I mean, one thing I just would want to mention is, I think it would very much improve the access, and it would make it more pleasurable to have a little bit of a boardwalk, like kind of where the
In
park
the
district.
really wet areas.
In the really wet areas, and this
Yeah.
would be Park District property side. Because that people walk through there all the time, it just gets so muddy.
It's tough right
and
now,
It's
yeah.
tough, and people get their shoes wet, and kids, and our bird walks, and anybody that walks through there, it's just difficult. And either they don't go through it because it's too wet, or they do and they get really mushy and wet. So like they have in natural areas, a little raised boardwalk, just like it's an extension of the bridge that's already there. It's just, 1 foot up above the ground that just keeps your feet wet, made out of wood, and just
for sure.
walking along the wetter areas. Maybe that could be incorporated into an Eagle Scout project with a small portion of the grant money. I'm already talking about the grant.
Yeah,
Well, if anything was to be funded, I think it would make sense to try to apply for a grant, because,
I mean, John's right. If you go back and look at that extensive plan we put together in response to the Hay report, that's basically what Larry was looking for.
well, we just make
A
it
few
geared,
modifications.
modify it.
Yeah.
modify it to be
Right. Some
all about
work's already
public
been
use.
done.
Yeah, but you're talking about walking paths, you're talking about naturalizing part of it, stabilizing
Interpretive
the shore,
signage.
and, at the same time, it increases access because it's more inviting.
Mm-hmm.
It becomes more park-like than just a roadside.
Yes,
We have more people walking that thing
Oh, my
now
gosh.
than ever.
especially now with the trails. There's someone on there, like,
All the
every
time.
time I look out, there's someone walking it.
And that's great.
It's really nice. It's very nice.
And you're talking about this for both the slough and
Mhm.
Hillcrest Lake.
Yeah.
The wetlands.
And of course, we would have to really reach out to the community. I mean, we might get pushback from Hillcrest Lake residents.
Well,
or-
yeah, but at some
or we do it in
point, the
parts.
city's
Maybe there's
got to
a-
decide that if,
Well,
Larry's plan is to turn it
Yeah.
into
Right.
a user park, then.
Well, things are different now than they were 2 or 3 years ago when this first came out, so hopefully that'll have some weight and maybe sway people to think
Yeah,
that
right.
using some restoration practice in there might be good.
Is that whole area by Willow Road where there's so much buckthorn? I guess it's probably to the
East.
east,
Mhm.
northeast.
Yes.
Is that part of the project? Or is that going to be that retention area where MWRD is going to dig out? Or,
I
if
don't
they
think
were
it's,
looking at, extra storage or something?
right, I don't think that particular area is extra storage. They're looking at off-site storage. But I think the whole area would be affected by that project.
Okay.
Because they're talking about basically raising the roads all around,
Yeah.
adding culverts, and so everything would be affected.
Okay.
There's, I think, 6 5-foot diameter culverts that
Yeah.
go underneath Willow.
So whatever
and
work
connect
we
the two
do, we have
together.
to sort of be mindful of that.
Okay. I was thinking there was a piece of property there that someone owns.
Yes, that's true. It's
That-
owned by someone else.
Okay, that,
That's where all the buckthorn is
Right.
that leads into Kupchak's Corner.
right, right. So we can't go in there, right?
Well,
Not without permission, but we know where to send the letters, so.
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
Or the
'Cause
city
that's
would.
real
their
thick in
behalf.
there.
It is.
Peter, in that case, someone owns the property there that lives in Florida, and we know who it is, and we want to manage the buckthorn on that property.
Permission from the owner?
Yeah, so would that letter come from you as the city, or from us as the commission?
You mean to contact them?
Yeah,
Let's speak with Joe on that.
okay,
Okay.
right.
We could wait for this plan too, I mean, once this.
Well, we
then
want
the
to do that
city-
anyway, so it doesn't
then-
matter.
oh, okay, all right,
Because there are back issues or issues that we don't want to discuss right now regarding properties over there, so.
okay, all right, no problem. So, okay, but we're all willing to go forward and to do this, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
All in agreement? Great. Okay. Wonderful. Okay. So then let's move on to adding a new PHNRC commissioner.
Okay. In consideration of adding what would be our 7th commissioner and our final commissioner to the commission, we've been just sort of on the periphery of talking to Seth Marcus, who's been a volunteer with us now, and you all know Seth, and we've all sort of independently talked about this too.
He's been volunteering for a very long time. He's very interested in what we do in the commission. He's been coming out to the work days, but also even coming on his Wednesdays off to help me, transplanting,
And you
greenhouse.
can frequently see him when he's got random moments out at Marava or somewhere else picking up things. And
Yeah, he's picking up trash at Marava. He actually goes out there with buckets, like several times a week, and is picking up the trash and,
Wow.
yeah. So, I mean, he's very, very smart, very knowledgeable. He's got some great ideas. He'd really like to see more like education and outreach, being done. And so I think that he could be a really valuable asset to the commission. We've got really great commissioners already. We don't, but I think it would just add more.
Well, I think, because we are all volunteers, we all do sort of have lives,
Or
that
not.
an extra hand in all this would
Yes,
certainly be an
that's
asset.
certainly a big one too.
So I'd like to make the motion that we ask Seth Marcus to, or we actually appoint him as the 7th commissioner, so,
Pending city council approval.
yeah, pending city council
Mayor.
approval.
I'd second the motion.
All in favor?
A.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, great.
Oh, and Ed gave his yes consent to that vote, so that is unanimous.
Great. So then the next
All right,
step,
so the next step is for me to give our letter of endorsement, and you can read this,
okay,
of Seth to the city council and to the mayor.
okay, so then our endorsement, you sent this to everybody already?
No, just read it, yeah.
Okay. Dear Mayor Helmer and members of the City Council, this is to formally request the appointment of Seth Marcus to the position of PHNRC Commissioner. We have worked with Seth as a volunteer for almost a year and have found him to be a very good candidate as a commissioner. He has an extraordinary work ethic and a great desire to better the local environment. He is committed to Prospect Heights and developing the green corridors that are becoming a vital part of our community's identity and the connective corridor of safe haven for hundreds of migrating species. Seth is a genetic counselor by day with a degree in biology and has been supplementing his naturalist education at his own expense by undertaking classes at the Morton Arboretum. His appetite for knowledge is voracious. He has also completed his burn crew certification and was an active participant on our last prescribed burn at the slough this last week. Seth has a deep-seated love of nature and a lot of practical experience in restoration. He has demonstrated to be a self-starter and is poised to help wherever there is a need. Being very intelligent and insightful, Seth has shown an interest to further our role in education and outreach. We feel he could be a very vital part of the Natural Resources Commission. As the scope of our projects expands within the city, we firmly believe Seth would be a very important resource for us. We have voted unanimously within our board to approve his appointment and certainly hope you will do the same. We are looking to add Seth to our board as soon as possible.
Okay.
So we'll
So
give that.
Peter, I'll give you these two when we're done here. And then you'll be able to get it on the next council
Yeah,
meeting?
as long as I get it by Tuesday.
Okay, here it
Yeah,
is.
but I'll get it afterwards.
Okay.
Good.
Okay.
All good.
When is the next,
Do you have that in email format? You can email that to me, I prefer.
okay, those are signed though.
Okay.
I can PDF them and email it to you that way.
Well, no, I'll take those, that's fine.
Okay. When is the next council meeting?
22?
The 23rd,
23rd, okay.
but we have to have everything in by the Tuesday prior.
And he would need to attend that meeting, right, for questions? It's usually the protocol.
I've seen it where they like an appointee there.
Yeah.
To show, they're engaged and they can answer
Interested.
questions if necessary.
Yeah, we all
And I've seen them
did.
not ask questions, so
Yeah,
it's hit or miss. If you're asking my opinion, I would, or my my advice in this, I would advise that he show up.
Yeah,
It happens at the beginning of the meeting, so he
Okay.
can come, if there's no questions, he can leave.
okay.
It's probably a good meeting for us to be at anyway, the
Right.
budget, the,
Right.
this
Yeah.
whole,
If we could come in mass.
Discussing the Alderman Rosenthal's proposal. too,
Exactly.
so
Yeah,
You
okay.
may want to stick around.
Yeah, we'll
Right.
plan on staying.
okay.
Okay.
Okay then. Next is potential new park district, Prospect Heights Park District project.
Okay, I don't know if you know about this.
It's a-
Potential new park district project?
Aren't you glad you came to the meeting?
This is just the, like, preliminary.
Dino contacted us. He reached out to Agnes and I, on, I don't know, Friday night or something. And he said, can you meet us there at 7:30 on Monday morning? So we went and we met him. And this is the area that's just to the north of the Marava
Recreation
Center.
Center,
And
pool,
it's,
where the
and in
concession
between the
stand is.
baseball diamond. And it's where they put the bands, or where they used to put the
There's
bands.
steps leading up.
And so I have aerials here, so you can see the area. They're going to take it, this is all currently pavers, and they're gonna take the pavers out, and they were going to pour all concrete. And Dino said, "Oh, wait a minute,
Wait, that's all?
maybe
Oh,
we should do
okay.
something different there." So he was thinking,
Oh, okay.
and actually reached out to us with the notion of, why don't we naturalize this area and make this a permeable path, and then put cement where we have to
He
put
didn't
cement.
mention permeable, oh, well, as far
Yeah,
as plantings.
that
right?
same grid pattern
Yeah,
stuff that they
right,
have
right.
over at Isaac Walton.
To make it still very, I mean, walkable and
Yeah,
usable, but
right.
maybe to having some native plants
Mm-hmm.
around there and,
Right, so he was looking for some plantings to go around that, and it
and then
was,
he was gonna present it to the board. So
Right.
this is really preliminary, like, nobody's approved this or,
nobody's,
Sorry, he did talk to me about it.
okay.
You said new location, and I thought we were looking. Yes, we've been talking about that for a while, and because of the weather, we really haven't been able to do the
Right.
project in and of itself, and now we're gonna start camping that, so, the board is supposed to meet Tuesday, so we'll have some time to talk about it.
Okay.
Hopefully, yeah, so you should know either this month or next month, but we wouldn't be able to do anything until July or August.
Okay, yeah.
Why
so-
are they taking down what they have there right now?
Because the pavers are old, they've been there for.
They're real irregular,
They're
and trip
irregular and
hazards,
trip
so-
hazard, safety issues, so they need to redo
right.
it.
they gotta
It's not a giant area.
No,
No, but it's very,
that will still,
impervious.
it'll still maintain that pad section underneath the tent as concrete.
Okay.
But there would be a path that would go to the concrete, and then plantings around it.
Yeah, I mean,
Plantings all
It would be
around,
nice, and I
and
think, you know, there's so many
plantings
kids
all
along
there.
the
That's
parkway.
There's
nice.
children and, you know, and families and everything, and I think it would be very
Definitely
inviting to
that.
have plantings there, but
Here's the
also
other one.
educational, you know, because, and then, you know, if they go out there and they see some nice,
It'll be more garden-like.
yeah,
you know, just
milkweeds and
greenery.
butterflies and.
Yeah, he was specifically asking for milkweeds. He wanted butterflies.
All right. No argument here.
We could bring the butterflies. I think it's a great idea. I
How
mean,
large is the area he's talking about? What would you say?
My goodness, let me see that.
it's,
And it's just the path leading up to the concrete
No, it's
pad?
it's on both sides of the, well, it depends. He asked us if we could just sort of like draft something that
Draft a plan.
seems like a good idea.
there's also this little section over here that's grassy in front here. That's really not, it's very narrow and it's not used during like the block party.
Here, this is
because it's
better
too
in here.
narrow.
You-
And
there
there's,
you see it better.
yeah. And so there's, like this one especially, right here. I
Yeah.
mean, you can't put anything there out in front. Maybe a little bit of like a patch could be incorporated there, you know, and just to make it more inviting and natural. And I mean, we're really kind of gardening at that point, but I
It's
don't mind,
gardening.
as long
Yeah.
as it's gardening with native plants.
Yeah. Well, that's what's gonna
We have
draw the butterflies and that.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah, and we can make it really appealing and nice too,
Mm.
by choosing the types of plants and, you know, knowing when they bloom and what their habitat is. and-
So, I don't know, do we need to vote on this and make it a project? Or do we just say okay and do it?
Well, we, yeah, we should.
Sure, I agree with it.
It's good.
Everybody
Good.
agrees with it?
Aye.
All right.
Okay. All right, so we'll pick up and craft some kind of a.
Unless one of you guys wants to do it.
Yeah, we understand that completely. No, but,
Okay.
I mean, what we told Dino was.
Like
we
an
had-
Get it
Yeah.
approved, we'll jump on board.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. But he wanted some kind of just a rough
Right, that he could
plot
present
that
to
he
the
could
board.
present to your board. To say, this is sort of what we think it could look like.
Yeah,
And
nothing,
then no planning.
no like
no-
architectural design plans or anything.
Just something that he could talk about.
Back
Yeah.
to Chipman and Chipman.
No, so just some examples of, even like examples of plans.
All right, so,
Okay, great. And if anybody wants to work on it too,
Mm-hmm.
let us know. Otherwise, we'll pick it up. But if you guys have some ideas or you want to be involved in this,
I'd
Anyway.
certainly take a look and
Yeah?
put in my 2 cents. Sure.
great. Okay, will you email John then? the
yes, I
stuff?
will. I think what I'll
Anybody
do, John, is go over there and
Just
get
let
some
me know
rough
what's going on,
dimensions, and
that's
I'll
all.
draw out the plot, and then
Okay.
just,
All
We
right,
need some like,
Yeah.
different pictures of it too.
yeah, I have pictures too. Yeah.
Yeah,
great.
I can join you for that.
Okay,
That's great.
cool.
Yeah.
All right,
Sounds like fun. Oh, well, I guess we're done. Unless there's any
visitor comments?
Visitors' comments.
no visitors' comments? No?
All right, I motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Yeah.